Well, hi everyone. Sorry it's been a little bit late getting this video out for our new project, but I seem to have turned into the clinic's #1 customer lately. Anyway, um, so April meeting turned out pretty good. It was on long exposure, and we kind of found out that it kind of had the best results at night. Otherwise, it kind of got washed out anytime during the day with the bright sunlight. Just couldn't stop down enough. But there was some nice stuff with the water and during the daytime. But it was a little bit challenging for some. And I just wanted to mention, if you're unable to complete the project for some reason, for any reason, you don't have to miss the meeting. You're welcome, you're encouraged to attend the meetings even if you haven't done the project, because a lot can be gained from just attending anyway. So for the May 5th assignment, we're going to visit the reflection task again. I think you'll find the approach this time even easier than last time. We had real good results last time, but there's some cool stuff I want to show you a shortcut to this method where we're working with droplets, and it's pretty easy to set up and get pretty great results. And then after that, I've got a video. We'll go right into a video with Leo Laporte and Chris Marquardt on reflection, and it's a real good presentation. And then finally after that, I've included 2 links at the bottom. They're on reflection. One is about 11 minutes long, and it's real good. And the second one is only 4 minutes long. I think we've seen it, but it gives you some good hints on how to get your phone or your camera real close to the water on the ground and get some fabulous shots. And you can tinker around with them if you want in after processing, but they come out pretty good. Some of the people even carry a little water bottle and sometimes a pan with them to have a portable puddle, or running water, smooth water is cool too. So anyway, with that, let's get into this video with Chris and Leo Laporte.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We today are talking about reflections.
Yes, we are. Because again, it's one of these things. If anyone's watching this on video, there are some pictures going to be on the screen. Reflections are a thing that I kind of always look for, and they come with different materials, of course. I mean, water is a prime example. A mirror, glass in general, metal, plastic.
There's all over the place.
Air.
Yeah.
Air does reflections sometimes. Even brick can make reflections. So it really depends on what kind of reflection are you looking for. Why do we want reflections? Well, they create some duplication in the frame. Sometimes they create real symmetry, and sometimes they just help you mix things up, mix 2 different layers. They add layers in the picture. So let me just go through a few things here. First of all, if you want to look through water, let's say you're trying to shoot fish in a pond.
Okay.
With a camera, of course.
Okay.
That is going to be a problem because there's a sky above and there's a lot of light that reflects off that water surface.
Right.
Use a polarizer. If you've ever used a polarizer or filter to take the reflections off, that works on water. Doesn't work on metal reflections. Works on water, works on glass. This way you can also look through windows, like if you want to shoot through a shop window, or if you are in a building and you want to shoot outside at night. Let's say you're in a skyscraper, you want to take a night shot of the city under you, and there's a light source behind you that reflects in the window. Take a polarizer and cut that out. So
you can, that's to stop reflections.
That's to stop reflections. If you want to add reflections, get lower. Let's say you want to reflect off a surface that is kind of semi-reflective. If you go really close to that surface with your camera, it will be reflecting. If you want a bigger reflection, get closer to that water thing. Let's say you have a puddle of water in front of you. You can make this feel really big just by getting really close to it with a camera. So wedding photographers love that. I know wedding photographers who carry a little basin with them and a bottle of water. They create a puddle to reflect things in front of them.
That's hysterical.
So lots of tricks there. If you look at surfaces, let's say water surface, of course the reflections can be very straight, very, very clear. And that's usually the case when there's no wind. But then as soon as the air moves, you will get these crinkly reflections. And that can add some different element in there.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you can even turn things into real abstraction. If you, let's say, shoot a shop window, that will add several layers. So you have what's in the shop, you have what's outside the shop in the reflection, and you can sort of combine different things in one picture that way. That's a beautiful technique that, you can really play with.
That's fun.
If you're shooting, let's say, a car or something that is very reflective, lots of people like to take pictures of their cars, then the size of the light source is going to be a problem, or is going to be important, because you will see that light source in the car, in the reflections, especially in reflections that are on convex surfaces, because they will kind of include more things. It's almost like a wide angle lens that includes a lot of things of the surroundings. And if you see professional car photographers who shoot cars in the studio, they usually have these huge, big light sources hanging off the ceiling because they want these very soft lights. Very typically in car photography. If you don't have one of those, then an overcast day is going to help you there, because that will create a big light source in the sky. So reflections can be kind of shaped by the light source.
I always assumed you want hard reflections and a hard light. So sometimes, though, you don't want to see what's reflected, just the light kind of sparkling off the surface kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It really depends on what you want. If you want hard light sources, then that is fine. If you look at, I don't know if you've ever seen a detailing shop that polishes cars and so on. They usually have hard light sources just to see all those details really well.
Right,
so it really depends on what you need, what you're looking for. Right. But shiny surfaces in general will do a pretty good job in showing you the actual light source. So if you have a bunch of just point light sources, that's probably not going to look that good. So you want something that's a bit bigger there.
One fun thing I've seen people do, especially if it's a good reflection, almost a mirror, so that it looks like the real deal, is turn the upside down so it looks like the reflection is the person.
Super fun. Yeah.
Yes. And then the person is the reflection, except it's not. And it's, at first you look at it and it's, something's weird about this photo. And then you realize, I get it.
And it works really well if it is if it's a water surface that is not really disturbed. If it's a really flat reflection, then it's gonna mess with your mind.
Yeah,
really will.
It's kind of fun to play around with that. Here's a nice one from a cityscape on a canal.
Very nice. The symmetry, and this is not just symmetry through the reflection. This is also symmetry in the actual shot. So you get like a double symmetry in that one.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool.
It's really cool. By the way, if you don't want to be in your shot, wear black, because I know a photographer who had a job to shoot in a museum, and he ended up wearing all black and a ski mask, so he would definitely not show up in these shots in any stray reflection coming through several panes of glass. So yeah,
Almost anything will
It's,
reflect if you're at the right angle of incidence.
yes.
I always
Try that with a, like, let's say, a wooden table or something. Go really
Yeah,
low, and you will notice how well it reflects. In fact,
I always like rainy days in cities because then the water on the sidewalk or the streets can also reflect and really become something
everything
beautiful.
turns shiny when it's wet. Yes,
Yeah, I always like that.
it's one of my favorites.
So I think filmmakers, well, often you'll see a lot of scenes in the rain. They just like that light.
They bring in the fire brigades to water
Yeah.
everything down
Yeah.
for films. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely.
Everything looks a little better when it's wet.
Yes.
Very nice reflections. We'll put a link.